the rest of it. Okay, hold on one second.
Hi there.
Hi,
Hi,
Karen.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Chris.
Okay, we are ready.
All right, sounds good. I will take roll call. Alder Dorf,
Here.
Alder Weary.
Here.
E.
She's here.
Yeah, she's here. Maybe on mute.
Did,
She's here.
Yeah.
Chief of Staff Jeffries.
Here.
Terry Racine.
Here.
Karen Schley.
here.
Susan Smith, I'm here. H. Smet.
Here.
And Professor Stottinger.
Here.
Great, so we are ready to go. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion by Alder Dorf, second by H. Smet to approve the agenda for the August 13, 2020 meeting. Comment? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Nobody opposed, so passes unanimously. Approval of the minutes from July 23rd, 2020.
Okay.
Move to approve.
I second it.
All right, Alderman Wary moves, Karen Schley seconds the approval of the July 23rd, 2020 minutes. Any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
And all those opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. First, regular business, update on the August 11th, 2020 election day. I don't know who wants to start, whether that's Barb or
Well,
Clerk. Sorry, Alder Dorf.
Yeah, I wrote something up, but I think everybody's got input. This isn't the only input, but I just submitted mine in writing. So I can actually go last if you want me to.
Sure. And Clerk Teskey, would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
We had, as far as absentee ballots, 11,575 were returned, with 4,400 not returned. Rejected were 29.
Wow.
We had an issue at Curative Connections. I was told when the city put in the mandate, Curative Connections, I talked to them and they said, well, we have a mandate at our building. And I said, well, I'm sorry, we can't, we can't mandate that because you can't put an obstacle in front of the voters. And they said, that's okay, we'll let that go for the voters, they'll be in and out. Well, when the statewide mandate came out, they never said anything. And the one gentleman that I talk to all the time, Gary, very nice, the higher up gentleman called and he said, we have to have masks here. The nurse is freaking out. I said, well, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And he said, yes, you can. I said, no. And he said, well, you're not going to be in here in November.
Right. I was going to mention that.
And I called him right back because I had to think about what I could do to make the difference. So what we did is curbside voting for anyone that didn't want to put a mask on. And we did get a complaint submitted to the WEC, which I will be explaining to them. But that's what everyone was, from what I heard on the clerk's list, was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't do anything else. I talked to Diana about it. She agreed what I decided on was good, because I had nowhere to go with them. I couldn't move them.
Right.
The one gentleman, the reason why he was mad is because he couldn't watch his ballot go in the machine.
That's the complaint that was made to the WEC?
Yes.
Okay.
He chose not to. He chose not to watch it because he could have put a mask on. But then he chose not to put a mask on. So then he chose not to watch it, right?
Well, no.
Yeah, Chris, Alderman Ware, yeah.
No. Doesn't
It's a
have to
health
put a mask
facility.
on.
It's a health facility.
Does not have to put a mask on to
No,
vote, though.
then it's curbside voting. Curbside
Yeah,
voting
but
is it.
That's still part of the election process is seeing your vote go in the box. So I agree with that person, definitely.
Okay, good. Then we'll lose curative as a place for voting. we'll just lose it. So you'll need to find us another
I
location.
did.
Good,
found
good
one.
for you. Okay.
I can't make them go all, on the east side, Chris Alderweary?
No, I'm just saying I found a spot, so. Yeah, you can't force people to wear a mask to vote, especially if they
Right.
want to see it through all the way to the end. People just have a distrust. They want to see the process all the way through. And if we deprive them of that, that's on us.
Okay, we're gonna stop. I totally understand. It happened on election day. I had no other choice.
No, I agree with what you did, Chris. You had a last minute decision to make, but I'm disagreeing with Barb that he had a choice. I'm like, come on.
Okay, I
We
just
did have a
wanted to
choice.
make sure because I had it all
Forced
set
it
up
on
that
her.
it was okay, and,
Yeah, you did
Right,
what you
and
had
that-
to in a pinch. I mean,
okay,
great.
okay.
And that's exactly what I told them at Curative too. I don't know when they called you, but I was out there at 10:32 and they were talking to me about it. And I said, curbside voting then.
It was
They
right
can do
before that. Yeah,
Was it? And then I also said, but don't argue with anybody. Don't get in a big fight with anybody. But I don't know what to do about the fact that it's a healthcare facility and it's dangerous. We're putting people in danger. So I really don't think we should use Curative.
well, and that's why I called them ahead of time on it because I thought, okay, are you putting us then like in a room right off the new entrance?
Yeah, it wasn't.
And that could have been an option for us, so be it. They've been very gracious before. This is the first time, and it wasn't the one I usually deal with. He wasn't very nice, but the one I usually work with was. So that was that issue. And then Karen and H, you want to talk a little bit about Sears? I heard the air conditioning went on.
Really?
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No.
Yeah,
Why
it
not?
did. It
It
did
did?
in the back. I don't know if H was
Oh, in the
involved
back.
in it, but it was like, it sounded like thunder, and Paul Willems was running around trying to, being a man, knowing how to check the plugs and all that. And we had the phone number for whatever his title is, the man that was coordinating with Sears. I had written his phone number down on Monday morning and we had the only key. I had it. And that's the only key to the building they have. So it was around my neck. But Marcia was very concerned, and I was getting concerned too, that there was something with wiring and all the machines were going to go out. So we asked the man to come back. He was in Appleton, but apparently he called an electrician and he got right over there and it was fixed.
Yeah.
Paul said Paul Willems said if on Monday morning the guy would have told him, or they would have set the air conditioning limit or something differently, and not knowing what I'm talking about because I don't know how to do that, it wouldn't have happened. But there was no problem with the voters or anything. It just was an issue that we were worried the machines would go out.
One of them.
All in all, Sears-
Go ahead.
all in all, I thought Sears worked out pretty well.
Right. I did too. We got a little nervous because not all the outlets worked, but
Yeah.
that got taken care of. Wonderful comments from people that Sears was spaced out good. I did get a complaint from one of the election inspectors, who I believe is a county supervisor also. She sent a letter to the mayor and I, and she wasn't happy with there being fans, because she said fans blow around the coronavirus because it was very warm in there. But in my mind, no matter where you are, air conditioning, air is circulating. So that's
Well,
just
Gary McDermott ordered some fans brought them from the city, and we had the fans going, and whoever was going to pick them up at 5:00, and he said, well, I'm normally not hot, so it didn't bother me. But so they started to take them out at 5, and I think it was Paul Willems went out, we need those fans. And by the time they took them out, it was getting really hot. And it's more of an issue of somebody keeling over from the heat, or, because
And then everyone had a mask on and everything. And the
Yeah,
supervisor also complained, she wanted plexiglass shields in front of the people handing out the ballots and people at the tabulators. And
the
we
people
did-
handing out the ballots did have plexiglass in front of them.
okay,
At least
well,
there were three going around.
that was her comments. And I thought, we didn't do that in April and there wasn't any complaints. And I thought those people would have a mask on and a shield, and that would cover their face completely. So I don't know if we want to buy more plexiglass shields. There's kind of a limit to where they can't have one by the tabulator. Maybe.
Yeah. You can have one for the person.
Ballots. We were lucky this time we could actually have them. People
Right.
handing out ballots. Last time, I think the second person was doing it. So I kind of had it's a hard time getting the plexiglass shields that I did have, but now that we have the grant, maybe I can order more.
Chris, I was there, and so I went around to every ward basically, and I talked to the workers, and that was my purpose, to go there and talk to the workers. And a couple of them that were handing out the ballots were like, we don't need a plexiglass shield. They said it's a second. I mean, it's not long contact with the person. Right. It's here, and then they're gone. And they were perfectly fine with it. And the science is that it has to be 15 minutes or longer for you to be really exposed. And so they were fine with no plexiglass. Also, I didn't put the fans in my report because in November, it's not going to be that hot. And we're just probably going to get to use that in November. I do know that when I was out there checking, there is heat. So we should have.
That was a concern. We were worried there was no heat.
Yeah.
There will be. However, it will not be warm. So we might want to think about generators, but other than that, there were not enough outlets, and I didn't think they'd spread out enough. Now, I know Karen might disagree with that.
No, I agree with you. I agree. We were talking.
We need to get the electricity fixed. Sears isn't going to do it, but we need to get some of our people in there.
We need to have some activity out there a couple days before and having that set up because.
Make sure the outlets work, right. Because they scrambled and they had some pathways that weren't real good. They did a great job, but it would have been even better if we could have spread out a little bit more.
Right.
And we want to go the whole
yes.
Make sure the outlets work on the other
and
side.
We can do it. We just got to get the outlets working.
But there wasn't any complaints from people. Nobody, and nothing on Facebook that I saw of people complaining. They thought it was spread out nice.
Well, the voters probably wouldn't realize it. Here's what happened with the poll workers. The poll workers were not able to be 6 feet apart. That's where the concern was. Right.
They were in a table, and then you put the other table around, so it got to be a little.
Right. So voters would think it's great. I mean, I heard so many positive. There's positive as I walked around and talked. Great. And I'm talking about just the poll workers.
Okay. In the course of the day, though, the people that I worked with, like Marcia was the other chief with me, we were a little closer than 6 feet quite a bit. So, and the people in my thing, you just can't help it. As far as the public coming in, we tried the social distance, but.
Right.
But that's the same at City Hall. We had the same issue.
Right. So.
After a while, everyone kind of. Yeah.
And actually, going back to curative was way too tight too. So we don't have to worry about curative because we're not going to have it. But if we did have to, you probably either you don't want to have 2 wards in there or you want to have one group handling both wards.
Well, and I had mentioned that.
Yes, it's way too tight. But I don't think we're going to have it.
In November, there's no way that one group can do both.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm not real concerned either. We'll have to find something else.
Isn't curative on the west side here?
Curative's over east by
the jail.
Right by me, by the jail, right by the jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we move on, H.
Yes. So this was my first time working at a polling location. I had a great time.
Yay, he was great.
Okay, good. Okay, I was going to go, Karen, did I do something wrong? Please tell me no. I started out as to do voter registration. I think we did maybe 30 voter registrations amongst the 11 wards. So it wasn't very busy. Okay. So I decided to be a greeter. One thing I would like to suggest is if we have a larger polling location, maybe having laptops that we can look it up real quick. Because some people were like, oh yeah, I'm registered. And then they'd go to the polling location and they'd come back and go, I'm not registered. I read my still not registered. Okay, there's a reason for that. Okay, so I kind of talked to him. He was understanding, but we were thinking, because it was just a constant stream, it was easy to keep up. But in November, that's going to be a little bit different, and especially if we have a big building where we have multiple. I talked to the other people working the greeting station with me, and they said if we had laptops, we could have looked it up real quick, told them which ward to go to. The books were kind of complicated sometimes in some instances. I don't know if anybody's ever looked at the whatever you want to call it, the ward book, where it's like, okay, here's the street name. Okay, now if it's east, it's west, if it's even, odd, if it's this range, this range, this range, and you sometimes there's a list this long, and if you mess it up, you could be sending the person to the wrong location. And there was some confusion on that. And sometimes I sent it to the person to 43 when they were supposed to go to 41. It was just a simple direction change. But if we would have laptops that we could check those people in, we had talked about if it was a larger location, having a piece of paper that says, once we checked it out, oh, they need to register, put their ward down, send them in to the building so they can get registered right away, and then they can go vote. And then we can check those people out. So if the line got really long and, Ward 29 is really short, we could just go around and who's 29 and pull them up and have them go vote. I don't believe most of the lines at any of the wards were more than 3 people at any given time.
Right, and that was my plan. That was my plan, not with the laptops, but I did plan on having, if there was lines, having somebody outside with that and getting them ready. The lines were so short that they could just come in. But
Yep.
we're going to have to do that in November.
And people were excited about using the laptops because they look them up real quick, make sure in the right location, hand them the information right away. Are you ward, whatever ward you're in, where you're at? People were looking for maps, like, where is this place? This is a different place than I'm used to go vote. And if I just, here's the address, and they're like, I don't know where that is. So if we could maybe have a map of where the locations are. Many people, first-time voters, had those little cards that said your ward number and things like that. They were proudly holding those up and we're like, oh, you're ward 40, here, go here, things like that. My suggestion is if we have the money for all registered voters at some point in time, send them out a card that says, okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Those came from the WEC. Those don't come from us.
Okay.
If they register though, but in the late registration time, they do get a slip of paper from us. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I was just thinking if we did another mailer, if we could do something like that. It's just a thought that we could have their ward number, that they're registered, their polling location, and how to also register absentee. Just to kind of give them another option, because we don't know how busy it's going to be in November. I think we're going to be extremely busy. And I did talk to a few people and they that were voting, and they said that, how do I become a poll worker? So I said, go to the Wisconsin. So a couple multilingual people that would like to Spanish, Somali, that would be very interested in helping. So
the Maria lady that was there, yeah, she wanted to be.
What was that, Karen?
There was a Maria lady, I think she volunteered for about an hour down Paul, and she is interested in being involved. So yeah, we got a couple leads there.
Yep. Maria just emailed me and she goes, how do I get involved? So I just sent her the information.
Okay.
So she's very interested in doing that.
One thing I want to compliment, I don't mean to interrupt, but you're talking about maps on where to, Wednesday after the election, I went to church at St. Joseph's on 9th and 12th, and I was very pleased to see a big map on the door. Your polling place is, and it said, and it gave directions and things and told them where to go. And then today I went to church at St. Jude's, and the same thing was there. You voted Helen Keller for this election. So I thought that was very informative. And it was a map. It wasn't just you go to Helen Keller, blah, 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 and showing them how to get. So I kind of got to thinking, because I don't mean to be a complainer. I usually just go with the flow. But when I went to the viewing of the machines, and we were talking, and Kim was holding the meeting, and I said, okay, now how does everybody know to go to Shears? She says, well, it's out there. It's on the web. It's on the, I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm not a real big computer person, and not everybody's on the web, so I was concerned Ma and Pa Kettle wouldn't know where to go. So I was real, I asked Chris about it. She said, we're taking care of it. I thought of that, and I was real happy to see that. And I think we need to do that again.
Good job, Chris. People asked me, I said, gosh, I'm pretty sure that was done. Thank you, thank
It
you.
was-
That was a really good thought that you did
I mean,
that.
I always do it whenever we switch.
yeah,
Good job.
With the map, thanks.
Good job.
Yeah, it was colorful and everything, and I thought, wow. And we didn't have any complaints, because one of the poll workers called me yesterday, and she just said, you know, everything went really well, and she complimented me, but she said, Karen, you know, there were a lot of new chief inspectors. They had questions, but they tried really hard, and I think they left with a positive experience.
Did
It
very
was
well.
a busy day.
That's all I had.
Great, thanks, H. Chris Perkteski?
I just want to say, as far as the laptops, that's a fantastic idea, H. A few years back, I had asked that if we could have that, and I was told, no, we don't have enough computers. And some chief inspectors actually said they would bring their computers, but per the law department, they should be clean. Like even one chief inspector wanted to register them and print it off, which would save us a huge amount of time. But the laptops have to be completely clean, so it's not collecting people's information. So, because other municipalities will take the police department's old computers and use them. So I had asked that same thing and still told no. But then I did talk to Celestine this time saying, if we couldn't get the Badger books, which it looks like there's the possibility we could, but not for November to
Right.
use, but that we could get them by the end of the year. If we could get laptops, because a lot of my chief inspectors before wouldn't want to use computers, but being that this is a different group and a lot of them have email and everything, I thought that would be great. So even Celestine, maybe if we could get them even at just the bigger wards, that would help us tremendously.
Could you use the alders? Could we donate our computers for the
No.
day, or wouldn't that count? No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think, given what Chris is saying about the cleanliness of it, basically the fact that this is a brand new laptop and also whatever information, well, I think we're talking about two different things, right? There's one idea about having that to register people. So that would concern me if we don't have the appropriate software. But then there's another issue of just basically using the laptop as an electronic notebook, right? So you're just looking up addresses, which is what H had mentioned. So that seems easier to pull off.
Right.
I'd be concerned about electricity though, because these laptops don't hold their battery but a couple of hours. So we'd want to make sure that the electricity, the connections are all together. Even in the Phoenix room, I had to kind of look for a connection for my laptop. So that those are two different issues, I think. So one is just to use a laptop to very quickly look up somebody's address. So it's easier and it's more accurate. I get what you're saying about, if you live on the even side of this street, on the north even side, then you go to Ward 43. If you live on the, even south side of the street, you go to Ward 20. I mean, I get that's what it says. But then there's the other issue about actually registering people, which I don't know what those technological capabilities are. And I also have to say that, we've had good luck so far with obtaining some equipment, but we are still in the middle of a pandemic and lots of entities are getting computers. So I just don't know. I couldn't promise the ability for us to get a computer that would be okay to register people and to print the new registrations.
I know though that Kovo, when they have their registrations, correct me if I'm wrong, H, but I think they use their phone sometimes.
We actually bought tablets that I wipe every time.
Oh, you
I
do?
I
Okay.
actually refresh it, and I'm going to say 2 or 3 different events, I will refresh them, bring them back to factory specifications, and reload everything back in.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We make sure we do not, it takes 15 minutes. I mean, there's nothing on the things. We don't actually have any apps
Right.
on it. The only thing I have is 3 different icons on the desktop, one for my vote, one for the DMV, and I think there's one other site that we have. Oh, for the other thing that we have to talk about is connectivity, Wi-Fi. I'm willing
Yeah.
to use my Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone to do it. It's not going to use that much data, but we would need to have hotspots too. Or like Sears does not have internet.
Right. That's
So-
another issue.
So that's just another thought. But yeah, I wipe our tablets on a regular basis, so it does not retain anyone's information, and it works well.
But I want to
many
make sure
of
we're
those
also,
do you have
go ahead, Karen.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, we have 3.
Could we use those on election day or not?
We'll see why not.
Which?
The tablet.
I think we'll have to check with law. I know before they did use their phones. Sometimes they'd call me and they were using their phones, which I don't think for my vote it's going to be an issue, although we do put in their birth date. So I think we need to get the okay from them if we don't use city-owned. Correct me if I'm wrong, Celestine.
I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
But I mean, then there's the other thing too. Let's make sure that we're solving the problems that we actually have, right? Because then
Well,
there's,
that is an issue though. That the street guide is an issue.
oh, the street guide is easy though. I mean, that's fairly simple. I think that's one that we can solve. The registration seems like this is not, I don't know that this is a problem we necessarily need to solve. I
Okay.
agree with the street guide. That's easy. You just load it up, to any laptop, and you don't even need Wi-Fi for that. You just put on the hard drive and look and make it a searchable. Make sure it's searchable.
No, for them to use my vote. For
Yeah,
them
to
to
use
use
my
my
vote.
vote.
Oh, to use my vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we'll talk after the November election because you guys are going to have the most registrations that day. You're gonna say, I want a computer and printer. Sorry. I think Kim had 900 last time.
Yep, UW
Well-
Green Bay will be tough.
Oh, yes.
Well, my thought is we could go to myvote.wi.gov. We can still go to the website the day of. You can fill it all out, and it just prints at the end.
And that's our issue is we
Yep.
need the printer and
For the supplemental poll book, and to put it in so that you can, I mean, that's a lot of, if you've got even 300 of those pieces of paper at 8 o'clock to put everything together, the new registrations, make sure the supplemental poll book.
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be so much quicker if we had a printer and computer than what they're going to do handwritten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a thought. I mean, we can still have additional conversations. We need to have just a side conversation. I have no problem talking about that. That's what I do for fun anyways.
Well,
So,
one more thing just about the registrations, right? It doesn't actually have to be connected, though, does it?
what do you
Can't it
mean-
just
what
be
does it
a
connect?
fillable form?
Oh yeah, you can download the fillable form.
Right. And then you fill, if it's a fillable form, it doesn't need to be connected to anything. I'm concerned about the Wi-Fi. And
No, you have the download.
Right, it doesn't.
Outlet, and you have a printer that's connected to it. That's what we do. We have a printer that we
right.
bring with us.
And then you
Right
just print the form and then you submit it. So basically you're just using electronics as opposed to handwriting.
correct, because
Correct.
nobody can read my handwriting. So it's better to use a printer.
So
We just
that,
don't want to. We don't want to keep their personal information on there.
right. So if it's a fillable PDF, then essentially some fillable PDFs don't keep,
Correct.
depending on what type it is, right? And then you'd have to purposefully save it. So that makes sense. If it were a fillable PDF, you print it, the person looks, make sure that everything's correct, or looks at the screen, is everything correct, print it, puts them in the supplemental poll book, and they go on. That would not require Wi-Fi at all.
Yep.
But
Looking for
we
the
want to make
free-
sure, because we're so big on public perception, we don't want them to think we are keeping their information. So like at the library, people can go and register and print it out. And from my understanding at the library, it wipes it out right away. So we want to make sure that we can assure the voters that we are not keeping that information
Right.
in that computer.
Right.
Alderman Weary had his hand up before, Susan.
Yeah. Alderman Wery, go ahead.
I only had three people reach out regarding the election. And they were all good. They were all very happy. So good job, Chris and everybody. Yeah, they were very, very happy about it.
Good to hear. One question. Oh, Chris, you're on, Clerk Teske, you're on mute.
I just want to say thank you, Alder Weary, and you like the drama effect, don't you?
One
You had
question.
me worried there for a minute.
You gave us the number on absentee voters. Do you have the number yet on how many people voted in person?
I do not have that.
Okay, that's fine. For the next one, we could do that to sort of do percentages and figure out maybe what we're looking at. in
Well,
November.
as a whole, we had 28% turnout. But I don't have the divided numbers up yet. We have 30 days now to get all the information in. So I'll have it in 30 days. Yeah, I mean, I could back it out.
No, that's okay. The next meeting is fine.
Okay.
I think it'd just be
Okay.
interesting to compare sort of percentage wise, how many did absentee ahead of time or early in voting or early in person in voting, and then also just in person on the day of.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you ready for mine yet, or does someone else want to go next?
Anybody else? I heard great things, Clerk Teske. I think, lots of good reports, and I think it went, things went well. There are always, little things that people can, for improvement, and certainly looking towards November, which is going to be a big election, but good job.
Can I just a couple more things? I didn't get as many pens as I wanted from the WEC to do the one use. And so I have quite a few for November, and I'm hoping to do the one use versus sanitizing for November because we will be so busy. I did get one email from a person that was very upset. She couldn't vote at her church. Instead, she had to vote at the wildlife sanctuary. And I explained to her, we can't make people allow us in.
Right.
And I said, so the church didn't want us this time, and they won't in November either. And she said, that's unacceptable. We should be using the post office. And she listed a few other places. And I said, again, I'm sorry. And she says, well, I guess Black lives don't matter. And I said, well, just so you know, for future, you can absentee vote if you would like, or come into the clerk's office for in person. And just kind of on a side note, I understand, Alder Weary, what you're saying. People do like to see that ballot going in the machine. So there is a push out there. It's been out there for a couple of years now by the clerks that we would like that machine in the office. And people, when they come in to vote, can put it right in the machine, and then they know, or they know that they made mistakes and they have, 2 more times to correct it. It would be huge. And some clerks don't want it, but the ones that can benefit from it, we want it. And it's a clerk takes an oath to not release. We could probably run a report to see who's at, who's winning, who's losing, but we take an oath to not release that information. So that's huge. That would be huge for us, and I think it would help the voter. Okay, I'm done.
I do have a question real quick.
Thank you.
Chris.
H.
Chris, quick question. Of the people that come in and vote early, what's the percentage or number of people that actually come back and change their vote?
We saw it at the presidential 4 years ago.
Okay.
We saw more in the office.
Oh, did you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't do it. That ends at Friday at, I think the time is 4 o'clock.
Okay.
They can't do it at the polls. Some wanted to do it this time because there was something that came out later with a write-in candidate, and they wanted to change, but it was too late. But yeah, we had that happen then. People vote really early and then they change. So we'll see that in November.
The reason I was asking is because, if they see it go through the machine, it's already counted. So you really can't take that back and do it again.
It's going to be done.
Right. So that's the downside.
Yeah, that's not, it's not that many. I mean, if it maybe would have been maybe 10.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's the only question I had. I wanted to follow up on that.
Okay, anyone else? Alderdorf?
Okay, so what I did in this first report, I've got two reports. The other one is individually at each of the 9 polling places I got to. I just have suggestions for the individual polling places, but these are the things that I got from across the board. These were common suggestions that came up multiple times. So the first one was purchasing vinyl or plastic privacy sleeves for the ballots because of the concern it was hard to clean the paper, the cardboard ones, because they're porous. You don't get a good job. And so in cleaning those off, vinyl or plastic. What do you think of that, Chris?
I can't buy them that way. The ones we have, I make because they're so much cheaper than purchasing them. But I'm not sure if I can buy vinyl legal size.
No, like folders?
And make them. I know I can't buy them from vendors,
Well, how many total do you need?
I'd have to ask Kim. I know in the beginning we did like a dozen, but when they get
For
really
each
busy,
ward.
I think we did 24 per ward for a big one. So that's, 47 times, and we need the different colors then.
Why do you need different colors?
Well, like at Wildlife Sanctuary, the way they had the DS200s, they put the colored folder on each DS200 so that when a person came with their secrecy sleeve, they knew they were directing them to the right DS200. So 46 times 24.
1,500, less than
That's
1,500.
1,104. I can look for vinyl ones, but then, then we'll also purchase the stickers that go on. I mean, I love the idea,
You could reuse those from,
and we
election
do.
to election. Oh, you do anyway.
Yeah.
You do anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, one of the places I went to, honestly, didn't use them. And I'm like, oh, isn't that against the law to not use them? But they didn't because they felt it was dangerous for them to use them.
And we
'Cause
did
they
get a
couldn't.
call on it, and Kim asked me, and I said, by law, we have to use it. If the
Right.
person doesn't want to use it, they don't have to.
Okay. So that's just an idea. So maybe getting a quote on that, whatever. This one, the next one, the 3-ring binders, this one, several plus chief inspectors and teams really want to do 3-ring binders instead of the flip tops, especially when you try to put it through the slot, putting the 3, and I saw it because some of them actually did change to the 3-ring binders. So is that too difficult to do, or is that something we could do for those voting?
I've done poll surveys from the chief inspectors and poll workers asking what they wanted, and it was split. For a left-handed person to have a 3-ring binder is too hard. I don't understand though, because to me, the way they're made now, it's easier to slip under than a 3-ring binder to push through it.
Because they were talking about flipping, because you have to flip it up. So they
Yeah.
didn't feel it was easier to slide under. And they also said it was harder for a left-handed person with the flip up ones to sign. So maybe,
Well, these
I
are
just
all,
kept hearing this, right? So there's a split then. People want it one way
Well,
or the other way.
these are all new people. You have to remember that they're all new people compared to the seasoned ones. Because this was the seasoned election workers and poll workers. So, I can do it. I can buy binders. But Kim and I are both left-handed and we tried it. It's not the easiest, but
I'm right-handed and I don't think I would change that. I just think for some of the poll books some extra rings would be nice, or even just extra rings, because after a while they don't lose their
Yeah.
tight connection.
One of my girls' ring broke, and I said, "Oh," and I took duct tape and I, you know, it up tight for her. But my two girls that do the books, on Monday, some of the extra poll workers were there, and they opened up their chest and they were putting all those ABC and numbered. And I didn't have time to do it for mine. I was running around, but then I said to myself, I said to one of the girls, "We don't do that usually." And they, "Oh, you don't?" And then I said no, and then I said to Sue and Jane, they said, "No, it's so hard to flip when you do it that way." So they don't seem to have a problem with it.
And the ABCs were very much appreciated from when I was walking around.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the hardness of that cardboard makes it hard for them to flip. That's what my girls said.
Oh.
And if they want to use it, that's fine. I mean, that's up to them.
And that's why I used to put them in every election, and it got to be too much work. So that's why I had the poll workers do it. So
I've done it every time with everybody that I've worked with. And I don't know, I think it flips easier with the cardboard in it, and it's easier to get to the letter you want with them.
Yeah, it would be easier. They didn't seem to have a problem, but I could imagine that the letter would be better.
Yeah, people like the ABCs. I don't know. Think about this one. Even if you can, I don't know if you can do it both ways. Maybe. Well, obviously it was being done both ways because some of them had transferred their stuff into 3-ring binders.
they're bringing, and here's the other issue, Barb, is printing is the one that does the holes, our printing department. So for me to say, okay, this one wants them on top, this one wants them on the side, that's why I did a survey, because I wanted the majority, to have it their way, because that's not fair to printing. So some places, like at Atonement, she's very against the rings. So she brings her own punch, and then she, has it. I mean, it just would get very expensive if I would buy punches, that would be more
Can't you get paper pre-punched? I mean, we always use the 3-hole punch, pre-punched paper where I worked at the school district. It just came in the boxes, it was already punched.
And it worked well to go through the printer?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we used 3-ring binders a lot in the school district, and we bought it so it was already punched. The paper was already punched.
So then when they print them, they'd have to choose which, if it was on top or on the side.
Whatever. You decide. Maybe do another survey someday. I'm just bringing it up because this was a very common one. Can the poll workers have coffee, please? Now, and I know that there's an issue maybe with a communal coffee pot, but single serve coffee machines, people could bring their Keurigs. We could supply the pods maybe of coffee. I don't know. Is that something we're not allowed to do to give them some coffee?
So here's the thing, I feel bad because let me just write down the hole punch.
Okay.
A lot of municipalities provide breakfast, Uncle Mike's, they provide lunch, they'll do subs, and supper they'll do pizza. And here's the city of Green Bay. $4. $4.
Bad.
And the thing is, who's going to do it? We've added so much more on to our election tax. They called me in a panic on Friday. They said, we can't get this all set up. And I said, I'm supposed to have extra help. So just to do the necessities is just so mind-boggling when you have just the 17 wards, much less the 31 wards. And they only have Monday. Some let them in on Friday. So I think it's a great idea. I wish I could go and do donuts to each place. I just don't know how we're ever gonna make it happen.
And I'm not saying, I'm saying that what the suggestion was, put a call out to the people working at the polls. And if they want to bring their Keurig, They would have to bring their Keurig. People would have to bring their own Keurig, and then we would just give them the pods, so they could make. Not that we would carry all the coffee pots, but Karen has something.
I was just going to say, under normal circumstances, when we have a place, we have a pod, like we have a coffee pot, we have all this stuff. We normally have that, but because of the pandemic, we were curtailed of that. So normally we do have the availability of coffee. We have a refrigerator with pop. We have so much food that you can hardly move.
Did they even give them water? Did they even have bottles of water?
We did have bottles of water there. We had
But
bottles.
they're doing their own thing though, within their group. So
Right.
it's the chief inspector that makes that happen, not us.
And
as
the brand new ones probably didn't know, right?
Right.
You had a lot of
That
brand
could
new
very
people.
well be, Barb, that we didn't get into the
Right.
food when we were trying
Well,
to.
It's a long day. It's,
Right.
Chris, it's a
Right.
long day.
I had one
All
other
that-
comment. I had a new poll worker. She wasn't in my group, but she was a little bit older lady, I think. And she kind of followed me around and, and she's like, don't we have a break schedule? And I said, oh my God. I said, absolutely, you can take a break. You can take 2 breaks. You can take 3 breaks. We've got enough people. Work it out with your group. Don't just, you go and then somebody else. That's what we did. And
Right.
we had set up about 3 tables over there. You can go and have your lunch and she said, oh, by law, we have to have a break. I said, absolutely. But I don't think we start making out a break.
You can't make out a schedule, no, but they should have a break.
I
like
told
you
her that.
said.
I said, by
Yes.
all means.
Yes.
I said, some elections, believe it or not, are so busy we don't get a break. But today, take advantage of it and take several breaks. Well, she did. I saw her over at the table a few times. But
So anyway, that's just an idea when, an email maybe could go out to the poll workers. Again, using the chief inspectors within their own groups. But that's not a big one. It's not a make or break. The next one is,
They know that it was in my email that to bring their own food and
They
not
did that.
guarantee a refrigerator
right.
or a microwave because buildings don't want us using that this time. They asked if they could do carry out, and I said, yes, you can do carry out as a group. But there is no way that I can even do a schedule. That would be up to the chief inspectors. And what Karen did was right. Somebody said, do we get a break? Well, of course, just, ask for one.
Right.
I had all the new chief inspectors have a mentor. And if they didn't use that mentor, that was on them. Because one of my seasoned chief inspectors emailed me and he said, do they realize how much work goes into this? And I said, I know. I said, thank you for you realizing it, because every day I was putting people on, taking people off, shifting chief inspectors because one didn't want to work here, one didn't want to work there. I don't have time for that either.
No, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. And it was bad just getting the schedule and then the people backing out. And so, So anything that, I think your ideas are great, Barb. I think if we could.
They're not my ideas. They're not mine. They
Well,
were from the people, but I'm bringing them to you.
I still think it's good ideas. I wish we could do it, but we have to think of who's going to do it and the enormity of the job.
Right. So then let's look at the next one. This one is as simple as throwing a roll of tape into each of the bins. Having some brightly colored painter's tape to mark off the social distancing, like put an X or just to put an arrow. Is that something we can do? Get one roll of painter's tape for each of the bins.
I think I got 5 from the WEC and the guys had them. But who's going to do it?
Well, the poll workers have. You can't do it. I'm not talking about you doing it. I'm saying the poll workers wanted to do that.
Okay, but Barb,
Yeah.
so we have some really dedicated poll workers that go the day before. They spend their whole day, they're not getting paid. This is
Right.
out of the goodness of their heart. Some go for 6:30 in the morning. They have a half hour to set everything up. They're not going to do that tape. And I think we should. I don't have the staff.
Okay,
I mean,
just put the tape, make it available, is what I'm saying. And hopefully, and I really do think that throughout the day, they would have when they realize how many times they're saying, no, go that way, no, go that way, they might go, oh, hey, we have tape. We could just make an arrow and, just like that, they could do it.
They won't for November. November for sure. They're so busy right from the start. So if we want it, which I think is a good idea, but that's what I thought the greeters were there for, to kind of tell people, keep your 6 feet of distance.
You couldn't do that at Sears. It was pretty big. It was pretty big. Some of the places are too big to do it at, but.
At Sears, just to clarify, at Sears, there were places where we had tape that says 6 feet apart. And
Yeah, we did that.
There were some. Yep. There was one door that people kept coming in.
Chris, I printed those off. I had 10 of them. I gave one to every 12 of them that they stay 6 feet apart and all that,
Yeah.
I'm just saying make it available because I don't think it costs that much to get 47 rolls of tape probably, if you can.
Yeah, they only had to ask, but yeah, okay, I will make sure.
They wouldn't even known to ask because they were so new, I think.
It was in the information.
Oh.
I wasn't too worried about Sears because they're going to tear the building down, but some locations may not appreciate having all that tape all over there,
But that's why it's the vinyl tape. It's not the tape that sticks. I'm not talking about, not sticky tape.
Okay.
And Barb, I know it's not you. It's just, I want you to know that we've thought of all this. It's getting all that tape, and I know it's easy to pull up, but at the end of the night, nobody wants to be pulling up tape, and to have my guys do that the next day, it takes them until, it came in yesterday about 3:00 with everything, so again, we'd have to have somebody
clean it up.
Yeah.
It's the cleaning up part.
Yeah.
That if you put down tape, you have to clean it up.
Yep.
Okay.
Chris, I just want to tell you, your guys are great.
Aren't they? They're fabulous.
You guys are great.
And one is going to be done as of November. He'll work 3 of the days in Sal.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So going into the next one, the signs that can be put on the plastic shields. This came up because people would seem to automatically want to go to the middle, and then they would go, oh no, start there, and then here, and then here. And they just want to know if there could be some, 1, 2, 3 signs with some tape. I don't know why you couldn't make that. They probably just didn't have anything that. I know some of them made ward signs out of paper napkins because there weren't enough ward signs, they felt. But the other ward had the ward signs, so I don't know what happened, but
they didn't look where they were supposed to because they were.
That's it. That's probably it because I can't imagine they didn't have that. But can you have 1, 2, 3 signs?
I can do just 1, 2, and 3 or more than that.
That's it. No, that's it because it's 1, 2, 3 along, right? Karen, along, and Terry along the table. You go here, you go here, you go here.
Well, they come up to the thing and they stand there and there's 2 people at the books and they show their license and they correspond, look at the license and then they get their ballot and they're done.
So everything wasn't like where you go to this one first, then this one, then this one?
No, they go to 2 people first. 2 people.
2 people first, then they go get their ballot. I think things were set up differently, different places. I get it. But even if they just had, you probably did give them markers and paper anyway, right? They could have made their own. Or not? Do they have any markers?
I know other people have, probably not markers. We have pens that they would have used. But,
or starch,
and I tell them to call me if they need something, we can have them made up and Terry made stuff up. Right, Terry? You made your own.
Mm-hmm. Terry, where were you again? You were out at Dan's, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
Barb, we didn't have any of that. I can't even imagine where you were at, where they're all wanting this because it isn't all that complicated.
Probably because I bet, I went to like every table at 9 places. So I talked to a ton of people. Yeah, I bet most of them were new.
I'm sure they are.
I know they were mostly new. They were,
Yeah.
there was like, how many new chief inspectors did we have, Chris? I think I
Over-
closed 5 that night.
Well, even,
Over 20 of them, to the point that,
yeah.
but they had a mentor. But I had one, I just read an email and she said, I'm kind of unhappy. And this was at a very small 2-ward place. Both wards are the smallest. She said, I'm kind of unhappy. She said, you stuck me with a brand new chief inspector and all new workers. And I said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I said, I would hope you would know me by now that I would never do that to you unless it was absolutely necessary. And I said, that was at every polling location. I had to sprinkle anybody that even worked one election
Right.
in with all the new ones so that they had a general idea of what to do.
Right.
So, and I don't know, and I think Karen and Terry, they know me by now, that manual is pretty, I tell them what to say even.
Yeah.
It's so detailed.
The new chief inspectors, one was Melinda, one was Leah, I think, and this other Marcia, Marcia. I think one of them, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to, but one of them the day before, well, we should be doing it this way, and we should be doing it that way, and you should. So, okay, well, the day of the election, Karen, how do I do this? Oh, should we, I just let her rant, but then she realized what was involved. So
Karen and Marcia, along with, I know Terry and all of them, because they included me in on their emails, they sent these people, because I sent them everyone that was working in that ward. But I told them, contact all your chief inspectors, have them, ask you any questions they have. And they sent out wonderful emails filling them in. And people just thought it was simple. I was so impressed by one chief inspector that was at Sears. She came to my defense on Facebook. And so, Barb, I was glad to hear that you thought the results came in well.
For
Because
sure.
somebody on Facebook said, oh, was Chris Teskey, is she on her second hand counting yet? And another one said,
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Jerk.
And this new chief inspector just went to my defense along with
She did.
Shana, who is, she was at the county at one time and also county city clerk for De Pere, and explained what has to be done. And I thought, for Janelle, sorry, said the name, but for her to be new and to realize.
Was it Janelle?
Yeah, for her to realize.
Great.
It was just fantastic, but so many thought, and even some that were volunteers as chief inspectors emailed me and said, oh boy, this was really a lot more work than I thought. So can I get paid now? I said, absolutely. Yes, you can. And thank you for being, the chief inspector. Because it's a lot of work.
It is. All right, quickly going on, because I want to keep us here all night. We already went through the whole curbside voting. Let's skip that. People did request more training. Honestly, it was the first time people, and maybe there could be more training. However, doing it is the best training.
Absolutely.
It is the best training.
Absolutely.
And so, there's so many things you don't know until you really do it. So I don't have a lot more to say on the more training requested. I just don't. I guess maybe if someone wanted to reach out and say, is there anything anybody needs or something, which I'm sure you do anyway, Chris, but
I was open to any questions.
Right.
And if I could direct it to someone else, like a chief inspector, I did that. But yes.
So go to the next one. Go to the next one, Celestine. Can you move it up?
Oh, yes, I can.
Celestine?
Yep,
Jeffries?
I can.
Celestine,
Sorry,
are you
yes,
there?
I just had to
Okay,
print
sorry.
something.
Can you move it up to the
Yes.
next one? We finished these two.
Whoops, wrong thing. This one right here. Okay.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this was an idea that came up at Sears. And they were very praising of the chief inspectors at Sears, the experienced ones. The experienced ones, they said they know so much. And they wanted to know if we could visually designate them, like a hat or something, where if they had a question, they would just know. I could get right over there. Or a hotline.
You know my name, I'll tell you.
I mean, a hotline, something where because questions would come up and they would, they were very unique questions that come up. You'd be like, oh my God, we need somebody that knows, but it was big. So I don't know, or is there a hotline where they can call right away, Chris? I mean, you guys are so probably busy at City Hall.
We are, but I told them to call. I had the number in an email.
Just to the chief inspectors or to everybody?
All the election inspectors are supposed to go to their chief inspecters. There's no way.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, you're right. But in these cases, sometimes they couldn't find their chief inspector, or their chief inspector didn't know the answer. So then they should have called you.
Some are new.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I know Marcia and Karen at Sears had a huge responsibility besides their own wards.
They did.
And Marcia said, could we just oversee and not have our own wards? And I said, Marcia, if I could have done that, I would. I used every single chief inspector I had. One guy stepped up on Friday afternoon, just applied, and he had interest in chief inspector. I said, could you please become the chief inspector? Here's the training, and I walked him through, what trainings he needed and things. And I said, here is your mentor. And he said, I will do it. And so that's how down to the wire I was. Now I have a few more that would be brand new for November, and I could alleviate Marcia and Karen from their own wards if people don't drop out. But I used every single person I could.
As far as my ward was concerned, I had like Sue and Jane, and then I just had the one new lady, and we were in pretty good shape. And the other comment, I guess we didn't have that in here, for Sears or any ward that's bigger, I should have mentioned that. I really like the joint registration table.
Yes, that was a good idea.
Really good idea.
Really good idea.
And one or two ladies said to me, for sure, one that I thought, she's like, I would like to kind of work over there and get a little bit better understanding of that. Oh, absolutely. And she went over like at 5 and worked with Karen. So she kind of got a little training. I said, I'm so glad you're interested in this on the spot.
That was very good. Yep.
That line of train, and then they had them all lined up when they had the supplemental poll list, and they could all, and at the end of the night, she handed me my sheet, and everybody got their sheet, and it was really good. I like that. And I think it saved workers because we had like 4 or 5 people there. Right. It was a little slower. Sometimes we only had 3. H was there. And I knew whenever it got a little line, he dipped right in and helped. But it really helped to have that line of, rather than one in each ward,
Yeah. And I do want everyone to know how lucky we were. I had a chief inspector on Friday. His wife's results came back positive for COVID.
Oh my God.
And he had been at the public test. He had been at one of the bigger locations a week or 2 before. I was just really worried. And so I got direction from HR, who put me through with fire because, and the chief inspector was very good about it because his wife is in the healthcare field. So she got her results positive. So we didn't know, what was he? Did he expose all those people at the public test? So meanwhile, fire was helping me. He got the details from me. And I'm kind of disappointed in the Brown County Health Department because the chief inspector wanted to get results from them, and he couldn't get them fast enough. He said 7 to 8 days, but wanted an answer as to did he expose anyone. Couldn't get an answer, but then he said we think I'm okay. Ryan at the fire department, he went by all the dates and he said, nope, I think you're good, but I'm going to double check with the health department. Never got an answer on Monday on it, but he said we were okay. So I said to Joe Falls, do you know that that's going to wipe out at least half of my chief inspectors for Tuesday if he exposed people unknowingly to everyone that was at the public test?
I was there.
I know, but I didn't send anything out because it was okay then.
Okay.
We got the okay. Otherwise, I was on it on Friday, but I was in a huge panic. So just so you're aware, because we got very lucky. Could have been a disaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Yep.
All right, quickly,
Okay.
bigger, better signage to designate entrances and exits and provide directions within the buildings. This is just what people ask for. I don't know where the signs come from, but just an idea. You said you're going to use single-use pens. If you don't, they would appreciate some kind of receptacle for clean pens, and then at the end, drop your pen in this bin, then they could wash them. Now, I was
That's
concerned.
exactly what we did at Sears.
Well, yeah, because you probably had receptacles, other places didn't. And then one place had the pens, attached with the spoons and the strings. Did you want that?
No, when the girls put that out, some of them started doing this. I said, absolutely not.
No,
Normally,
they were doing that at numerous locations. So
Oh my God.
if you don't want that done, please, a special email. Because I'm like, you should not have that. Every 10 minutes we go out and we sanitize those. Like every 10 minutes, people are touching them in between. But I'm not the boss. But I did ask them to please only have people take a pen and then return it and sanitize it. So that was going on. The spoon thing was going on big
They
time.
obviously didn't listen to the
They didn't.
WBC webinar.
They didn't hear, or you hear it once and you're new and your brain is full, you don't get it all. I'm just saying that's one we could repeat. Your favorite one, Chris, you will love this one. Make the option for two more shifts more available. You will hate this one. I know you hate it, but that's people ask for that. So I'm like, well, if you can find a reliable partner, I said that's my understanding of how it can work, because if it's 1:30 and nobody's here, you got to stay.
It didn't work that way this time. I did the juggling. So if both you alder people could please push to either have HR do this, the getting of the people, just the applications and the paperwork alone, and then the scheduling of all these new people and people backing out, coming in. I didn't have time for anything else. That's what I was doing. It was.
Well, then we need to give you another person. I don't think
Right.
HR can do it, but.
So if you can have someone help me with that, that would be fantastic.
So,
Mary, what do you think?
yeah.
So different than a regular election when I know they're working. Their chief inspectors call me, yep, they're working. And see, the chief inspectors had to double check all the workers right before the election also. So, yeah.
So this is something that the Center for Tech and Civic Life can help us with. There are some different programs that they have access to that will help to manage poll workers, because that's a lot, and that's a lot of moving parts. Much of the same way that you have as many people coming in and out as I think some of our seasonal staff, but of course you only have them for one day, maybe maximum 4 times a year. So yeah.
So Celestine, did the
Yeah.
grant people, because when I asked that in our kickoff meeting,
Yeah.
did they say that we'll have that portal up and running for November or no?
That I couldn't say one way or the
sorry.
other.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Sure, I couldn't say one way or the other.
Okay.
And may I just jump in there before we move to the grant? I think that's update on the grant activities. Can we just finish up with this portion? I think we've discussed everything, but I just want to make sure. And then Celestine, I think, is giving us an update on the grant activities as our
Yes.
number 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So is there anyone else who wants to comment on this election?
Can I just ask, do we have Sears for sure for November?
Well, someone needs to call. I mean, who did the final contact call to make sure we had it for August?
Well, the contract was signed.
The contract
was signed.
contract
We
is
need
signed,
to-
and the
yeah,
contract is for August, and it says
Contract-
all elections. So,
And they said they would give us 90 days notice if they were going to demolish it. Well, that passed on August 3rd. So I'm assuming, but let's not assume, somebody should probably check. So who sent the contract? Was that was Law that did that?
yes.
Celestine, do you have a suggestion on, because I can check and ask a person something. That's not the same as signing a contract.
Right, but so I think it just makes sense we do have a community relations aide, and I can certainly have him make a phone call.
Yes,
I would
yes.
really need to dig in my emails though, because I did not save that person's contact information in my contacts.
I'll dig,
Can you send me
or
the
talk to me,
contact?
just dig.
Yes, thank you.
I have the phone number of the guy at Sears if you want it.
You have them. You have the phone number of the manager.
Yeah.
That's not the person that makes the decision. But he's a nice guy. He's a super
He
nice
might
guy.
be able to give you the phone number if you can't find it.
Yeah, I probably can. But
Okay.
I'm on it, Celestine.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on number 1? Yes, Terry.
I would just say, just from the chief inspector portion of it, for November, I would not want anybody with split shifts. If it's going to be busy, I don't want to be worrying about doing meet and greets for somebody that comes in the afternoon and having to have people wait while we shift and figure out who knows how to do what. And
I agree.
I think if we could keep everybody for a whole day, it's one day, either twice a year or 4 times a year. I think if we can keep as many possible as full shifts, we really should stick with that.
I agree. But if we have enough people that a lot of people won't work because they have dogs and they want to let their dogs out.
Right.
Some have already put them in a daycare, and I don't think it's fair that they pay for that. I think
I
we
know who
should,
that is too.
I arranged care for my dog when I had a dog.
Yep. So, if we had enough people to give the breaks to allow that, I think we could get more people. If we had breaks that we had enough people, which we did this time, but November now is going to get absolutely crazy. So if somebody could do, the breaks schedule, if we had enough people that are there all day, because it is very hard for the chief inspectors to have new people come in the middle of the day when they're crazy busy. And I really think that people think that shift work is fine, should actually work it to figure that out. Because unless you work there and do the job, you don't know how much work it is. I mean, the number of people that tell me, how hard can it be? You go in, you sit down. If I had $1, I could retire for every person that said that to me. So, and you're getting it from 2 very experienced people.
My body is still aching from the day.
I bet it is.
It's a long day. Any other comments on number 1? And if not, I need a motion to receive and file.
I make the motion that we receive and file, and also that it was a very successful election.
I second it.
Thank you. Motion by Karen Schley, second by H. Smet, to receive and file the update on the August 11th, 2020 election. All those in favor?
Aye.
And all those opposed? Okay, passes. And we're on to informational update on the grant activities.
Okay, so we had a great kickoff meeting with the election team here and our shepherds and mentors from the Center for Tech and Civic Life. Since then, I have had one meeting with our coordinator. Her name is Whitney May. So we have a number of things going. The first sort of urgent activities for us are drop boxes, locations, processes, acquiring the drop box. There is a piece of good news that Chris has, which I will let Chris give. And also the next piece of the next big ticket item for us is around advertising. So we did send out a postcard to every residential unit back in July. And so I thought that was successful. We do have a mood board. We have, a look for our campaign. And so there's a number of things that the Center for Tech and Civic Life are going to help us with in terms of designing additional materials. I also have crafted, and Chris has approved, I'm just waiting for HR to put this in action, forgive me, it's been a long
I know,
couple
I
of
can't think of
days.
either.
I'm so sorry. So I had the election and then we had the resiliency coordinator interviews yesterday and today. So my brain is again a little fried.
Voter,
Navigator job
Yes.
description. Thank you. So Chris has approved it, and I'm just waiting for HR to put that in action so we can get hopefully 4 voter navigators to join us and to help the clerk's office and to help the community. There is a mural that has been completed. I don't know if anyone has seen it. I see Allison is shaking her head, giving a thumbs up. So that is really fabulous. I think that Covo is looking to have an event there on the 18th, which I have to circle back with DPW just to make sure that we're not going to.
They do want to have it on the 18th.
Yes. So I just have to.
League of Women Voters wants to be there, and so does the National, the Fair Elections.
Yes. So I just have to make sure that you can set up in a place where somebody isn't parking. That's all. But it's fine. I mean, it's our property. It's just I have to tell you all where to go. And it's a great mural. People drive by. I think it really looks great. So just to recap, sort of some of the grant activities that really have to take place in the next 2 weeks. The drop boxes, that's a process. I have a meeting next week. The advertising, which I'm still working on, and it has to be really finalized and in the can by Labor Day. And then we have also the voter navigators, getting that position out there and on the street and getting some people in the door so we can get some training. And one of those people will definitely speak Spanish. That is my goal.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. I did also, I think I mentioned this the last time, but I will mention it again. I did actually contact the school district. I got another email from them today. So looking for high school students to become poll workers. And also, once again, I put the call out because I can, since I still have some friends in the school district, that we are definitely looking for some bilingual young people. Additionally, I had an email conversation with someone from St. Norbert. And of course, we have UWGB. I have not yet talked to NWTC, so that's a little bit of a lacuna in my outreach for young people to be poll workers. So I think there's a lot that we need to do at UWGB, especially talking to the other chief inspector who is for Ward 3, which is essentially the students. There's a lot of registrations. I've heard some issues with registrations in the past at UWGB, just because there was, a group out there who allegedly was doing registrations and didn't do it properly. So students had to register again, which of course causes consternation and lines, neither of which we want on election day. So I did talk to Ben Jonio, who is the chancellor's chief of staff, just about getting some more activities. So he and I are going to have a conversation about how we ensure that we get some voter engagement groups, some voter groups, and some students engaged in getting registered to vote. It's so easy if you do it online, but of course you have to have a Wisconsin ID with your address on it. Go ahead, Chris.
So a couple things. I guess I'm not being kept in the loop on any of this. So I've been working with someone from St. Norbert. So I hope
cool.
we're
That's
not-
awesome.
Well, I just don't want to be double.
No, it was just an email, so you have at it. Go to it.
Well, no, I mean, I've been communicating with Angel. Have you?
No, that name does not
Okay.
sound familiar.
So
Angel
I think-
Cisneros.
I think if you could just, keep me in the loop.
Yes.
And as far as the drop boxes, I didn't know that you were doing all that with the drop boxes. So can you just kind of keep me in the loop on that?
Yes.
I just saw a picture online that DePere is thinking about it too, and the drop box that, I can't remember, if it was Wauwatosa or Waukesha. They showed, what they had on the side and everything, which was great. But I do want to, if I can bring it up now about drop boxes, my concern, or is now not the time?
I would say now is the time. Honestly, I just arranged for a meeting next week just to
Okay.
talk about it.
So here's the thing. I love drop boxes. Allison, I was the one that brought up drop boxes at GB, and I love them. What we found with this election, even though it was a small election, everybody waited until the last minute.
Yeah.
We had quite a few from 7:15 to 8 o'clock. So our outside ones, I don't think should be open the day before. I think they should have to come down to City Hall. And then we're going to have to keep teams, and I see Diana's on. And she asked, should we come back? And we said, no, we're good. Well, there was a stack about this big that Kim had to open, and then she had to find, out of the 47 wards, had to find those poll books, had to enter that. If they had to be remade, they were remade, had to mark that in the inspector statement. So I was trying to close, as soon as she got the first batch of ballots done for that DS 200, I took them, I put them in, and then I started closing it down. And then I went to the next one. So, every DS 200 had ballots that needed to be put in that stack. That was after 8 o'clock at night. So we're going to have for the November, just the drop box at City Hall available on that Monday, and then have somebody constantly going out and getting them, because she was going out every hour. And that's going to hold up results. So Kim and I are talking and putting a plan in place, but just please don't have those other ones open till 8 on election day. Even Monday, it's going to be iffy. I think we can talk about that, but it's a lot more work. So the more we add to things, the longer it takes. And I'm all for the voters. I don't get me wrong. We have to think about then the results at the end of the night, and people get mad about that. So I'm trying to make everybody happy.
Well, it's not going to work. You're never going to do it. Forget that.
I'm trying. That's why ever since I was clerk, that's what I'm trying. Make everyone happy. And I have to learn that I can't make everyone happy. But a lot of times those are the ones that are the loudest.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about drop boxes? So just because I was looking up the number for Celestine, how many are we going to have this time?
Well,
November? We don't know. How many do we
I don't
want
know.
to?
Celestine might know. I don't know.
Celestine, do you know?
well, so that's the conversation to
That's
have
the
next week about.
Okay.
The budget line in the grant calls for, there's a generous amount of money. At least we have money for 16 drop boxes. So easily.
16? That's too many.
16,
That's-
yes. Well,
That's a lot of drops.
that's what the money, we have that money. And, you know, but also it depends on, you know, the quality of the drop box and that kind of thing. Chris had estimated $900 a piece, which sounds reasonable to me.
Well,
But
they went up.
they went up,
went
which
in
makes
price.
sense, right? So,
Okay.
so
Well,
I
the
don't
other
have an
point I
answer.
had was Celebration Church would really like to have one, and they have a security camera. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I promised I would throw that out there.
And that's thanks to Terry.
It is thanks to Jerry. That's what I promised. And
Yep.
so I just want to make sure I said that. Plus, when we start, I mean, we're not doing everything tonight, but for polling places, that would be another great polling place because we'll lose 2 schools.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And it seems
Curative.
like
We'll
we're
lose Curative.
losing curative as well.
Right. So celebration would be great. So now that I walked down that path, I just want to make sure. So we're probably going to have anywhere between, how many did we have this time? Just one?
One.
2? One.
One.
Just the city hall one.
Correct.
Right. And didn't we decide way before that if we are going to have more than one, only the city hall one was going to be open on election day and none of the other ones were? They were going to all close on that Monday? I remember having this discussion.
We did, but now we have the grant people that are, you know, telling us their side. And I just want to clarify that I would appreciate. Yeah, and one other thing, Alder Johnson did say Gather on Broadway would be a polling location also. So we have some talking
Boy.
to do on that.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Well, we'll do that next time. We'll put
Yep,
that on the
that's what I
agenda.
mean.
Polling places.
Right, we'll add
next
that
time.
for
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on the update on grant activities?
Oh, my good news.
Your good news, yes.
Yes.
We're getting the DS 450.
Yay! When?
The contract is being drawn up right now, so I'm hoping for
before
November.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. That'll
Yeah.
be great. That will be great. And we'll always have that until it breaks down. So
Yep.
that'll be
Eight.
really-
Yep.
Yes.
Did we also get the ballot folder and the envelope opener?
We got the ballot folder. We'll use that for November. I came too late for this one. Diana's wonderful twins helped us with the letter opener, which started squeaking
Oh,
and got hot. So I have to call them and ask them. I know DePierre and Ashwaubenon and both bought one, so I'm want to contact them and see how theirs went. If ours was just overused, I don't know.
maybe we need 2. Can we get 2 instead
Well,
of?
we could probably use 5, but what I'm looking at is with the DS 450 now, we still have to open them obviously, but now my plan is kind of not in place because I don't know just
Okay,
what this
we
is
can
going to
talk.
do for us. So I want to get training on it first.
Okay. We can talk
Okay,
next time.
great. All right, anything else on the update? If not, we can do a motion for receiving
Move
and
to
placing.
receive and place on file.
Seconded.
Thank you. Alder Dorf moved, H. Smith second, to receive and place on file the update on the grant activities. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Seeing none, we are moving on to the last item, update on the November calendar of election activities.
Okay, so the one thing, this is a calendar I gotten from Kim, and I know that things have changed. Let me just pull this up. Things have changed because of the law, right, Chris? So that,
The mandate went into
Yes.
effect.
let me just pull
So we
this up.
won't have the extended hours.
Right. Give me
For
1
the
second.
2 weeks. We still
There we
have
go.
extended hours the 2 weeks of. Okay?
Let me just,
So normally when I get the ballots, we start the next day, which would have been like September 18th. So now we can't have in-person that soon, which is a blessing and not. Because then
Okay.
it kind of spreads people out, but some people for presidential don't want to vote early anyway, and we get that push at the end.
so this is,
And it's
this,
normally the week before. So this time, with the 2 weeks,
So this date here, Monday, September 21st, basically, I put it in there because this was a calendar that Kim had given me, knowing that we were going to discuss it. And then what I think the easiest thing to do is just to have Kim or you update this calendar and give it
Okay.
to me, and I'll put it on the agenda for next time.
okay, we can do that.
So basically, we're not doing, so our election, our early in-person absentee will start more like
19.
October 20th.
Yes.
Yeah. And then,
And that's what I was getting at, but just so you know,
yes.
that September 21st, we should have the ballots going out for absentee on the 17th, September 17th.
Okay. Can you
So
just,
we made it on that Monday to give us some time in case the ballots weren't ready.
oh, sure.
But so that would be, you could put on this, and we normally don't have that on here. So September 17th, around that date, all the absentees that were requested will go out.
Yes.
Okay?
So if you would put that, I think just because, I mean, normally this calendar really is more internal for you, but since we're talking about this and we have the advertising we need to do, if you would be so kind as to put that first day where the absentee ballots go out, September 21st,
Yep.
and then that'd be great. All right, cool.
But
Great.
that part about registration,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of affects everyone because we will have the clerk's office will be open for registration on Thursday, the 15th, will be open, but they can't vote yet. They won't be able to vote until the 20th. So that's kind of that'll be frustrating for people.
So that means this is something that we need to communicate then.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Right.
won't be
They
able
know
to
that.
go online or mail in anymore. And the only way they can register is in the clerk's office for those days until October 20th, where they can vote and register at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Thank you. Motion by Alder Dorf and second by Alderman Wary to receive and file the election calendar. Any other comment, discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? None opposed. Passes unanimously, and we are at adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion by Alder Dorf, second by Karen Schley to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Who wants to
None.
stay?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for this report, and thanks for doing such a great job on the election on Tuesday.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Okay, thank
you.
you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Maybe.